And showtime, ladies and gentlemen, the next best thing to watching Tiger King for the fifth time. Welcome to the latest episode of the ChannelPro 5-Minute Roundup. We'll look at news, trends, and tips for the SMB channel in 5 minutes or thereabouts. My name is Rich Freeman. I am executive editor of the ChannelPro Network. I'm also one of your hosts on this program, and I am joined this week, as every week, by my co-host Eric Simpson, a business transformation and improvement consultant for MSPs and other IT providers. Eric, how you doing this week?
Well, Rich, I'm doing everything I can to help flatten the curve, as I hope all of our viewers are. But it's starting to wear on me. It's starting to wear on me. Getting a little stir crazy. So I'm going to have to figure out how to take the edge off somehow, where I don't, go out and break quarantine.
Stay strong. Stay strong. You're doing good work. We're both doing our best to keep that curve flattened. And I am curve watching a lot, actually, to just make sure it's headed in the right direction there, because the sooner it does get where we want it to be, the sooner we can maybe get out of our caves.
Hear, hear, brother. Hear, hear. So we'll keep watching it week over week.
And until then, the IT industry rolls on. For the first time in a few weeks here, our top story this week does not actually concern the coronavirus. It has to do with a new product from Zix. Now, Zix is not necessarily a name brand in the channel. You may be more familiar with AppRiver. AppRiver is a cloud distributor, quite popular with our readers. Zix is an email security and archiving company that bought AppRiver for $275 million very early in 2019. And at the time, they said their vision for that acquisition was that they were going to take the expertise at AppRiver in terms of delivering Office 365 and services and support and other software as a service applications. They're also, AppRiver has advanced threat protection capabilities that Zix didn't have. So they were going to take all that stuff that AppRiver does, they were going to kind of fuse it together with those email security and archiving products Zix makes and sort of build this integrated end-to-end cloud suite. Well, here we are about 13 months and $20 million later, and that vision has really now fully come to life for the first time. This week, Zix introduced a product they're calling Secure Cloud. It is built upon a sort of self-serve Office 365 platform, distribution platform that AppRiver introduced in 2017. Features an all-new interface to that, but they basically took that AppRiver platform, added a bunch of new security capabilities, including tight integration with those Zix products that I was talking about before, and really created what they call the foundation for a secure modern workspace. So if you look, especially now, when so many businesses have people at home looking for a secure way to connect to business resources, you're going to need to get them a productivity suite like Office 365, but you're also going to need security. You're also going to need to think about compliance. And now Zix has a product that sort of bundles all of that together in a very convenient way for MSPs to sell. So interesting evolution in that story, the acquisition of AppRiver and the strategy at Zix. I think that it's also an interesting story just because it goes to a point that many vendors and distributors have been making, which is selling Office 365 alone is a very commoditized, low-margin business. That's really not the way to win in the cloud. What you're looking to do is take that and bundle it together with other products that your customers need. Security is a great example of that. Backup is another, migration, management and support. Create and sell a bundle that includes Office 365. That's how you really get your margins going in the cloud. And so here's another option basically for partners to consider around that in this Zix solution.
Yeah, really. I mean, 2 snaps up for helping partners figure out how to bundle, because it seems to be the missing ingredient. We as our partners continue to grow year over year, it's that operational and sales maturity and awareness level that allows them to identify opportunities to not be transaction-based resellers and to become more consultative, valuable advisors to clients by bundling in these complementary services and then figuring out how to price, position, sell, and support them. And Zix has figured out, holy cow, if we just do it for our partners, will sell more valuable, higher margin products and services for us, and the partners will make more money. So, I appreciate the help, Zix. Thank you.
Yeah, no, and there are distributors out there that have tools that you can use to sort of create your own bundle. But you're right, just having the bundle ready to go is going to be an appealing option to a lot of MSPs. Speaking of appealing options, or at least appealing times to have certain conversations, that goes straight to your tip of the week in terms of conversations you might want to have with your vendors and distributors.
Absolutely, Rich. I mean, as the longer that, and so, I will pivot and talk a little bit about, the coronavirus impact, and the tip of the week is an opportunity to take advantage of offers and openness and willingness by vendors and distributors to renegotiate terms and renegotiate and maybe extend payment terms or increase flooring accounts, and just be really good strategic partners to our MSPs and IT pros out there and channel pros. Reach out to your vendors and distributors if you haven't done so already, and ask for some consideration due to the coronavirus epidemic. And a lot of, I'm seeing a lot of programs out there, Rich, and a lot of vendors and distributors that are proactively doing things like reducing costs and extending payment terms and increasing credit lines and things like that. But if you're not, receiving that proactively, Rich, we talked about this before. I grew up in New York, and I learned early on that the phrase "don't ask, don't get." So if you don't ask, you certainly may not get. But reach out and ask what's available, what kind of consideration, what kinds of programs, what kind of help can your vendors and distributors do to help you reduce your costs, thereby in turn allowing you to reduce your prices to your clients, and be that really good strategic business partner, not just a trusted advisor, but a business partner where you can pass some of that on to your clients and help them weather the coronavirus, lockdown as well.
I also co-host the ChannelPro Weekly podcast, and a few weeks ago we had on as a guest host somebody you and I both know, Dave Sobel, who a former vendor executive, former MSP. He's pretty much full-time podcaster right now himself.
Yep.
So he guest hosted the show with us recently. We were talking about this very issue, and he said, look, folks, there's no ego here. There's no pride here. Don't be the person who's like, well, I'm not going to use free software. I'm not going to, I'm just going to gut it out on my own. This is the time that the vendors and distributors are making these resources available for a reason. They need you to stay in business so they can stay in business. This is not charity. And you just need to be, thinking about what's smart for your company right now, and don't let pride, don't let ego get in the way. I think it's absolutely a smart time to call your vendors, call your distributors, and say, how can you help me right now? Especially if you know what kind of help you need, because they can really come back with something directed for you in that case. But even if that isn't the case, you just kind of want to know, what are you doing for your partners right now? Pick up the phone and find out.
No, you make a great point, Rich. It's not charity. I mean, these vendors know that, they need you to stay in business. We're all in this together, right? So why not take advantage? I mean, trust me. It'll all work out okay. They'll be okay. You'll be okay. Customers will be okay. As long as we have this, inclusive perspective of what are all the levers that we can turn and tweak in order to make it easier for us all to get through it together. So there are lots of other, tips that we'll talk about in successive weeks, on this topic that I've been, thinking about. But today, just if you haven't already, reach out and ask. We're all one community together. So, you'll be able to repay that later. Trust me, to your vendors and distributors, that kindness.
Absolutely. That leaves us with time for just one more story here, Eric. And you know what else will help us get through this? Beer. Just the other week, I wrote on a piece of paper, hey, somebody please send me more beer. I put it in the window. Nothing happened. Didn't work for me, but apparently it did work for, what is her name? Olive Veronese of the Pittsburgh area. She's 93 years old. She was photographed by the local CNN affiliate over there with a handwritten sign, standing in her window with a sign that says, I need more beer.
holding up
an
her
empty Coors Light.
holding up her Bud Light, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it just so happens that the good folks at Coors were
Of
watching,
course.
and they saw that Olive needs beer, and they did the right thing. They sent her 10 cases of Coors Light. She's set for a little while now. This is just an inspiration. I don't know. Maybe I have to wait until I'm 93 before it works, but I like this idea of just letting the world know, if bring me beer.
I mean, that is awesome. It's a great gesture of kindness from the folks at Coors. And even beyond that, they went the extra mile and said, hey, let us know when you're running low and we'll restock you. I mean, gestures of kindness go a long way when people are going through tough times. So thanks to Coors. That's awesome.
It's a good news story. We'll take as many of those as we can get. Well, that is all the time that we've got this week in the 5-Minute Roundup. Thank you so much for joining us. If you like the show, you want to maybe take a look at some past episodes, you want to know when the new ones become available, best thing to do is go to the ChannelPro Network channel on YouTube and subscribe there. Make sure you click that little bell icon if you want to get notifications when the new episodes go out. To read up more about Zix and AppRiver, get business growth strategies, latest news, reviews, all sorts of great stuff for your business, please visit channelpronetwork.com on a daily basis, because we have got great new content going up for you there every day. To learn more about Eric and the work that he does with his clients, you should go to ericksimpson.com. That is ERICK Simpson.com. So once again, all the time we've got this week. We will be back again with another episode for you. Until then, folks, I know it's getting a little bit harder all the time, but please enjoy the rest of your week. Eric and I are enjoying the rest of your week already.